My name is Patrick Flanagan, and I'm going to be briefing as a part of SWENG 861's course project Stock Market Monitor. It's a very basic application for querying live data from the IEX cloud service. I was going to use interactive brokers, but that was a little too complicated, and I hope to graduate that in the next coming years with more sophisticated financial operations on software. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're doing here. Django is the back end, HTML is the front end, and Bootstrap is kind of the cascading style sheets, the way you're setting up your web page. Allows users to perform simple applications to simple query operations to track real-time stock prices. I'm just doing very basic data with the IEX data bundle. My trial version expired after 7 days, so I went from a $1,500 available service down to like a $20 available service. So we're kind of slim pickings when it comes to the data, but it gets the job done. So we're basically just going to go over basic things that you can query off the stock market, and overall, what Django has enabled through its integration is a user-friendly interface. And it helps integrate with like a database, which is SQLite, to provide to say, hey, here is a basic display. Here's how you can update it, and you can work with like tables. You can sort your tables. You can fetch and retrieve objects and manipulate things. It's a very basic thing to fulfill the overall requirements for this project. The way it works is you have your template, which is HTML, your view, and your model, which are shared Python, and you have kind of a complete loop to say, hey, with the HTML, I want to do such and such operations, and then you can have JavaScript to say, hey, I want specific functions. Like I'm about to show you like a market countdown type ticker, which I actually have mostly working except for like the weekends. Right now, if I open it, it's going to say, hey, it's going to open within 12-15 hours, but it's going to be a Saturday, so that's a ding on me. I got to fix that to figure out, hey, if it's a Saturday or Sunday, or hey, even a holiday, it's not going to be open. So that's more sophisticated operations. And then the views are going to be like your error handling to say, hey, is your stock ticker valid? Or hey, once you got a stock ticker, how are we going to parse everything? That's where the Python kind of comes in. And then there's even the Python that goes into the HTML, which I thought was neat. It's kind of hard to debug. So the one thing I want to pick up on, and I'm not a front-end developer, I'm a DevOps guy, is that I want to be able to debug everywhere. So what this application is forcing me to do is go move beyond the print statements, because I'm used to working at a very low level, no IDEs, sometimes Vim, sometimes even VI for really bad environments, or even text editors. What I want to graduate to do is say, hey, I can debug anywhere. And Django is going to be one of those things to say, hey, I'm gonna try to create something. I'll definitely introduce some problems into it, and I'm going to debug it. So I'm really happy at least this project and this course I was able to enable all this. So the extra credit portion of this is going to be implementing a full code pipeline from code commit to code deploy. I'm going to brief a little bit of details on it. I'm not going to go into too much. The Python package manager, I use Micromamba, small, efficient, and easily reproducible across environments, not gigabytes and gigabytes of data as you work with Anaconda or even Python virtual environments. You got one environment YAML that you can create, boom, move it across environments. It's only it's barely kilobytes as opposed to hundreds of megabytes depending on what you're trying to do. The containerization mechanism to build off top of that is Docker. And Docker enables me to containerize my application and move it in a lot more places than just to bring, hey, here's my GitHub page, download it, create the con environment, go with it. No. Everything's containerized, so it's like, hey, I want to have this run locally. I want to have this run in a pipeline somewhere else. And how did I build it? In AWS, you have 3 services as a part of code pipeline: code commit, code build, code deploy. Code commit is basically Git on AWS. Code build is a service where you need to do stuff with that code. Do I need to test with it? Although I don't do it in this project, that's available to me. I want to build a Docker image. Boom. Code build plugs right into Elastic Container Registry, store, manage, and deploy my images. Where am I deploying it? I'm using code deploy. Where am I deploying it? I'm doing Elastic Container Service. Elastic Container Service is a place where you can just deploy, manage, and scale your stuff. And it's built on Fargate. I'm using Fargate right now. Fargate substitute for Elastic Compute Cloud. I don't have to worry about provisioning stuff. I work for the government. Most of my time spent working with systems. This is completely inverted on its head. With the implementation of this project, I actually have more time to design and actually do stuff. So it's really neat to have Fargate and not have to deal with most of the stuff. It's serverless on my side. I'm letting somebody else deal with the server stuff. It's good for somebody else to share in that pain. Lastly, I have Secrets Manager. And that's assisting me in protecting my API access key. And it's hosted on there. And it can be pulled into ECS. And I'm good to go. And then I update that separate so anybody can pull from it that I allow them to. And if I practice good security procedures, only the people that are allowed to will do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a live demonstration. So let's go ahead and go to home. Let's go ahead and enter nothing and see what happens. Okay, so no data to display. Let's go ahead and just go to invalid data. Okay, so I have an invalid stock ticker data. Let's go ahead and go to Google. All right, so as you can tell, the ask and bid price market, this is the error I was talking about. Market opens, it does not open in 13 hours, but if it's a weekday, this actually, you're like, okay, all my bid, ask size, etc., they're all zero. Okay, well, it's because the market's closed. And I have more work to do on this as well, but we're getting there. Let's go ahead and do AT&T. Let's even do obscure company. Let's do Gorman Rupp. It's a pump company. All right. So I just did 3 stock queries, and you can get the basic volume of what's going on. As you can tell, I got a really obscure company. Just to go back, 1763. Okay, let's go to Amazon. I bet it beats it by thousands of percents. There we go. 572,000. So you can use this for a little bit of queries on what's going on. Even check your stocks during the day. Although most of us index in 401ks, it's not really that big of a deal. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Portfolio management. Let's go ahead and add 3 stocks. Let's go to AT&T. Let's go to Amazon. And let's go to Google. And you know what? We need to figure out if this thing actually handles our errors. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to add it. I'm not going to put anything in there. Uh-oh. This field's required. Error adding stock. Let's enter 4, 5, 6. These are 6 symbols. 1 through 4 symbols go to the New York Stock Exchange. 1 through 5 go through to NASDAQ. Let's put 6. Got an error message here. Ensure this value has at most 5 characters. It gives you the current count of what's going on. Error adding stock. So our error handling is still kind of checking out. So what you see on here on the table is an ascending order. It is by default, and every time you add something, it resorts it in ascending order. Let's go ahead and sort this. You do that by clicking on the blue header, and we're currently ascending as indicated by the up button. It's down, now it's descending. Let's go ahead and sort according to symbol and do the exact same thing. It's currently ascending, now it's descending. Let's go ahead and delete our objects. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that demonstrates the ability to create, read, update, or delete operations within this interface. The About page is there just to give you where you're querying from, what they mean, etc. Let's go ahead and make our way to, I have 4 data points to show right here. So I'm going to go ahead and maximize this screen, and I'm going to press play. All right, BG Dark is the top portion of what you were seeing in the stock market data. We're going to go ahead and make that blue, representing a blue deployment. It's only basic in functionality. I'm going to A38. Thing is blue. All right, we're going to go to 1445. I have BG Success when it was previously BG Primary, and that's going to represent green. I'm going to 1900. I could probably actually go earlier. And it goes green. In between all that, I only got 10 minutes to demonstrate this for you. But what this 20-minute video, which I'll include in the link, it actually goes through most of what I've demonstrated before, but I actually did not move the tables up and down. I needed to demonstrate updating stuff and sort orders. But what this 20-minute, almost 20-minute video demonstrates is the ability to, when you add to code commit, it builds, it deploys, and then it deprovisions down an infrastructure while keeping 2 at the same time. So give it about 5 minutes, that's what I have, and it takes down the old one and puts in the new one. Same thing for the green deployment. So at the conclusion, this front-end application helped me demonstrate the databases, front-end development with HTML, Python. It helped me demonstrate packaging, deployment, and CI/CD. I appreciate your time. Thank you.